Next thing you know, the snake started coming out of the bag slowly, and then I grabbed him again. One of the EMTs just flew me to Loma Linda.
It's remarkable that such a tiny little puncture wound is just introduced by this little thing and just wreak havoc on your whole body like it does. I mean, venom's first purpose in nature is not defensive. They have their signature rattle on the warning system. The main purpose for snake's venom is predatory. But snakes are vulnerable animals. They need to get in and out of their prey's territory quickly. The snake's venom helps them achieve this in 3 ways. As soon as the snake strikes, toxins in the venom begin to immobilize the prey by paralyzing it and causing massive internal bleeding. All these things stop the little prey item from trying to go away, so the snake with no arms or legs can go and track it down. Secondly, the venom actually changes the scent of the prey. So the snake can distinguish the immobilized prey from the other animals in the area. Finally, the venom contains incredible enzymes that start digesting it from the inside out. So by the time the snake swallows the prey, the tissue is already breaking down. Unfortunately for Pippin, all these factors were at work inside his body.
And my family, they came to the hospital, they were pretty worried, and they didn't even recognize me as the same person. They looked like I was on steroids or just, pumped up, basically, because I was so swollen. From my hand to my chest to my shoulders, my throat, just everything kind of blew up like a balloon.
It's the worst part of the job, to have to go and tell parents that their loved one is either critical or could have a horrible outcome. It's really hard. It just wears on you. There's no way to prepare for it.
They came out and they told my mom that they needed to do the fasciotomy surgery or else I'd lose my arm, basically. They said because of the swelling was so intense that my arm would have just basically popped.
Try to relax, okay?
I woke up and they're taking the bandages off, and I remember the nurse saying, you might not want to look. It's pretty bad. And I looked over and I just couldn't believe, from seeing 2 little blood drops on my thumb to seeing my arm filleted open, basically, Made me a little upset in the stomach when I seen it, kind of a little surprised,
The surgeon made a decision in Pippin's case that he crossed that line to where he had a compartment syndrome and needed a fasciotomy. He basically slices down the muscle sheath to open up the compartment.
They cut my arm in different places, my forearm, my hand. There's probably, a good 7, 8 incisions that were just wide open. Basically flesh, muscle, all that good stuff. In the area where it bit me, it turned black, almost like rotted my skin, basically. My doctor, he said when he cut my arm, my skin was so tight, just split open.
In our desperation to save some tissue, we were doing things like putting him in a hyperbaric chamber to get better oxygenation to his tissues.
They put me in the hyperbaric chamber for an hour to hour and a half treatments a day. They were saying that the oxygen helps the healing process. 3 days later, they did the second surgery to close the wounds and do the skin grafts. Yeah, in the area where it bit me, I don't have the same movement. It definitely affected the way my hand and my arm works.
He's got quite a scar from his fasciotomy, but he's still able to use his hand. He's still got the arm. He still has his life.
After waking up and seeing my arm the way it was, I feel real lucky to be alive.
Something crawling up my leg.
His entire apartment was infested.
There was one point when I thought the beef might win.